Good morning, friends. It is 9:22 on Sunday morning, and Cedar just left the house with Orion after we had a little breakdown, and we've been having these little micro breakdowns over the course of the last week, and it feels like it finally came to a head, and it came to the point where we were able to actually get curious about what exactly was causing these cycles of breakdowns instead of just being stuck in the anger and frustration and resentment and disappointment and pain of the breakdowns. And they're not big things, just like little interpreting someone's body language, or, the way you said this felt like rejection, or, just like these little moments. And they just add up and they get momentum, and then they send us in this rut. So we've been in a rut, right? And this happens, I think, to everyone, right? Happens to us. And so we were able to get curious about the dynamic that's causing this. And what we came to reminded me of a practice kind of taught to me by my dear friends and mentors, Alma and Santos Castro. They have this beautiful 5 steps alchemy of love process. And the first step is to just identify what happened, like what the trigger was. And the second step is to kind of say what I made it mean, right? How I interpreted that moment, right? So my husband asked me for a hug this morning, and I was feeling a lot of feelings in my body. I just didn't have a lot of oomph to hug him back in the way that he wanted to be hugged. And he made it mean that I was still mad about something that had happened. He went on this whole thing in his mind about what my energy of my hug meant. And it kind of got the ball rolling on a whole frustrated loop for us. And I'm not saying this to throw him under the bus, but to really just get specific about what is the example of how our minds can really just see something or hear something and make it mean something different than what's actually going on for the other person. And so the practice is to come back to our partner and say, hey, when I tried to hug you and you didn't hug me back the way I was expecting, I made it mean X, Y, and Z. Is that right? And then I would get to say, no, I'm just having a hard day. I'm just dealing with some residual emotion from, all the different things that I was in a bit of grief last night about some things. And then maybe he would get to respond differently, or just not, interpret it. So that's the practice that I invited him to work with me in this week leading up to the holidays. We'll see how it goes.